Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Iron Sharpens Iron Bible Study Podcast. Today, I want to dive into a powerful verse from the book of James, which is my favorite book of the Bible, and also this is one of my favorite verses. James 1 and verse 2 says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds." At first glance, this verse might seem perplexing. How can we possibly find joy in the midst of trials and challenges? However, as we explore this verse together, we'll discover, there's profound truths about the nature of joy and how we can cultivate it in every season of life. I kind of want to help us understand the context here. James, the author of this letter, he wrote to encourage and exhort believers who were facing various trials and persecutions. He understood the reality of their struggles and the temptation to lose heart in difficult circumstances. Despite the challenges they were facing, James urged them to embrace a counterintuitive perspective, to view their trials as an opportunity for joy. Joy as depicted in this verse is not dependent on favorable circumstances. It transcends the ups and downs of life. It's important to recognize that joy is distinct from happiness. Happiness it's fleeting and often tied to external factors, but joy is a deep-seated confidence and contentment rooted in our relationship with God. James invites us to shift our perspective on trials. Instead of viewing them solely as sources of pain and suffering, we're encouraged to see them as opportunities for growth. Peter uses the word refined, refinement, and ultimately deeper intimacy with God. When we approach trials with a perspective of faith, we recognize that God can use even the most challenging circumstances for our good and for His glory. Choosing joy in the midst of trials, it's not easy, but it's possible through the empowering presence of the Holy Spirit within us. It requires a deliberate decision to trust God's sovereignty and His goodness, even whenever we can't fully comprehend His ways. By choosing joy, we demonstrate our faith in God's ability to work all things together for our ultimate good, like we read in Romans 8. As we reflect on James 1:2, I want us to remember that joy is not the absence of trials, but rather the presence of God in the midst of trials. Regardless of what we may be facing today, whether it's uncertainty, adversity, or pain, we need to cling to the promise that God is with us and He is working in and through our trials for His purposes. So, we need to choose joy, knowing that our faithfulness in the midst of trials bears witness to the transforming power of God in our lives. That's all that I've got for this week, for this devotional. So until our next sharpening session, stay steadfast, stay inspired, and may your faith continue to grow sharper each day. This is the Iron Sharpens Iron Bible Study Podcast. And until next Monday, God bless.